I've been using Windows 7 for a week, purely out of selfish needs to make this video, testing older operating systems to see if they work and how well they hold up in 2021. First things first, however, I want to recommend that I do not condone using unsupported operating systems due to security. The main reason why you can't use Windows 7 anymore, typically, is because Microsoft has dropped support for it, meaning it no longer gets security updates and is very vulnerable to viruses. Now, with Windows 10, there's a lot of overhead phone home features, the automatic virus scanning, antivirus updating built into Windows Defender. These things are necessary for security and do cause significant overhead in Windows 10. Another thing about Windows 10, which seems a bit strange, although we all hate Windows Update, it is very beneficial in the fact that Windows Update now manages driver install for things like chipsets, graphics cards, so all that's more streamlined, so it makes your first time building a PC a lot more easy, simple, friendly. And let's get on to Windows 7. This setup was easy. I just loaded it up on a dual boot with Windows 10. Fairly simple. I'll leave a link below on how to dual boot. Driver install was a bit more difficult because I had to install everything manually, which isn't so much of an issue, but one extra faff that some people can deal without. I forgot how nice Aero actually looked. I love the Aero theme. I always will. Yes, Windows 10 does look modern, minimalistic. It's quite nice to be fair, but it's just never gonna be just how clean Aero was. But one downside to Aero was even on my GTX 1080 Ti, it could still show how graphically intensive it was if you tried to do anything on the GPU while you had it enabled. For instance, on my streams I did during Windows 7, you can check out my Twitch channel below, I had to disable Aero because it would create significant overhead on my GPU and cause bottlenecks in the games and make the stream perform worse. But that's not going to change how much I actually loved it, because it's the transparency and just it was nice. The best thing, it was just nice. And as well, one strange thought that some people agree with, some people don't. The start menu search, whether you like the tiles or that's a different thing, but just the search functionality, that was so much better on Windows 7. It just worked. Instead of having these internet searches and blah 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 on top of it, it just worked on Windows 7. Now let's go over my specs, so the next part makes sense. My computer runs 32GB of Corsair LPX 3000 memory. I have a Ryzen 5 1500X running on the B350 chipset. I have a GTX 1080 Ti. They're my main specs. I get roughly 150 to 160 FPS in Rainbow Six Siege on Windows 10. On Windows 7, I got 180 plus FPS, both running on ultra settings. Now my guess is that's due to overhead on Windows 10, with some of the phone home features and such. It was more snappy, it felt a bit nicer, even though everything was loaded on my hard drive operating system as well. 2TB Seagate Barracuda, if anyone's wondering. That's not to say my experience was perfect, however. There was a lot of apps and software that I use in my day-to-day, such as DaVinci Resolve, just did not work. Just outright, they did not support, or they had some features that weren't supported in Windows 7 due to the end of support. Windows 7 also made it a bit more challenging because I had to use some legacy versions of software. Strange thing was on Windows Vista and below, there's banners on software like Chrome that say this operating system is no longer supported. They weren't on Windows 7, which is strange because the support's been ended for over a year. So whether that is something to do with developers wanting to continue the support for it because they like it, or if because the kernel is the Windows NT kernel, although it has been advanced in Windows 10, it is still basically the same operating system. So that could be why. Whatever it is, I don't know myself. But all in all, what I am going to say is my experience with Windows 7, it's fine. It worked, I loved it still, after the years I've been without it. And it's nice to go back to, which is why I've kept it on the dual boot. Again, I want to mention that I do not condone this. I do not recommend it under any light due to the end of support. You open yourself up to many viruses, malware, and things that just want to steal your data. So please listen to my advice and do not install Windows 7 in 2021. Nerd Hosting is the cheap, reliable web hosting platform, excellent customer services with responses in less than an hour between the times of 9 AM GMT and 8 PM GMT. I run my websites through them. They are brilliant. Check them out at the link below. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.